Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this WCN webinar in association with the firm on making your recruitment award-winning with the help of a robust ATS. You can join in this webinar at any time by tweeting at WCN_EREC and using the hashtag WCN webinar. We're delighted today to have a packed agenda. We'll start with an introduction to WCN from our policing expert Mark Houlihan, and then we'll have the main show with Kesh, who will be interviewed by Mark and tell the story of how Warwickshire Police and West Mercia Police have transformed their recruitment approaches with the support of technology. We will have time for Q&A during the webinar. Questions should be logged on the GoTo system if you're online and following, and we can take one question per person. If you want to raise more questions than that, we're happy to take a look at them after the broadcast and come back to you when we can. And then we'll close with some closing remarks. So without further ado, let's get started, and I'll hand over to Mark to briefly introduce you to WCN.
Hello, it's Mark Houlihan. I'm Business Development Manager at WCN, and I've been with the organisation for approximately 7 years now. WCN, an organisation founded back in 1995, so over 20 years, delivering award-winning, leading candidate management solutions. And we've got organisations or offices around the world, particularly in the US and also in Asia, and we've been helping the best organisations around the world attract, engage and hire the best candidates faster. So we've leaders in talent acquisition. Our background, we worked very closely with central government, and we were approached by the DTI back in 2007 to write for the government their best practice guide to e-recruitment. We have about 400 implementations and 500 organisations currently using our platform, and all of this knowledge and lessons learned and experience has been built into WCN's technology. If we so moving forward, I'd like to introduce you to Kesh Ladwa. He is an award-winning recruiter and working for West Mercia and Warwickshire police forces. Hello, Kesh.
Hello.
Like to maybe perhaps if you just introduce yourself as well.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. So, hello everyone. My name is Kesh Ladwa. I'm the recruitment manager for Warwickshire Police and West Mercia Police. I joined the police force about 2 years now. My background, I worked in both private sector, public sector, and even the third sector. So, joining the police force was probably a first for myself, anyway. So, when I joined, I was given sort of the remit to transform the whole recruitment within policing for Warwickshire, West Mercia, and that's what I've been doing. So it was a great challenge, and I'm still on that journey.
Sure. So what are the challenges facing your forces and policing recruitment in general, and how does it relate to the wider challenges?
Okay, so there's I mean, in recruitment in general, I mean, we're trying to recruit the best talent in the marketplace in the first place. I mean, we're competing with the private sector continuously, where we have to kind of deliver more with less with any public sector, and the public and the organisation want results. So the question was, how do we attract the best talent into the policing? So one of the biggest problems was diversity. So in recruiting diversity into the recruitment, into the workforce. So we've got a diverse workforce, and then there was attraction and branding as well, because the brand of policing, I mean, nationally, you've got, I don't think a lot of people actually know there's 43 forces nationally, and it's governed by a College of Policing.
Yeah.
The public see policing, plural, just the word police, and that's all they judge it as. So we had to change that perceptions of policing in general, make it attractive to sell all the careers that we already have, which the public didn't actually know that we have a huge array of careers within the organisation. And then attracting the right skill sets was the other thing, like cybercrime at the moment, and IT skill sets, and how to attract those individuals and then attract young students as well, leaving universities, colleges, to then think of policing as a option of joining a career. So that was some of the challenges.
Some challenges, okay. And so your forces, West Mercia and Warwickshire, have combined into a groundbreaking alliance. Tell us more about that, the difficulties that have emerged from having to unify services to to hire these types of people.
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, the Warwickshire West Mercia, they did back in 2012. They did a groundbreaking alliance, which wasn't easy. It was all around the decreasing budget affecting all public sectors, and we had to sort of think outside the box and find better ways of working. So both police forces decided to do an alliance and deliver, with the aim to deliver a better service to the communities we protect and serve.
So what led to your need for a new e-recruitment system?
Okay, so the ATS system was, in my view, a desperate need. We desperately needed a technology, adopting the technology to improve the way we do things. The recruitment process was, prior to 2 years, was very paper-based. So, and that's historically the way everything was done, and it was very paper-based. Everyone used to sort of go through that, and line managers used to have piles of paper to go through. Candidates used to fill in several forms at the same time. Sometimes forms, may get lost as well, and there was no sort of reporting and data behind that. So we had to bring all that in, and it had to be electronic, and it had to be secure, and it had to be accessible to the organisation. And I mean, especially two forces coming together, you're looking at loads of data, loads of applications. We recruit every day, every week, every month, every year, to be honest, and we need all that data in a secure place which is easily accessible.
So how has the WCN solution helped you to deliver your transformation?
Okay, so WCN, when it was implemented, I mean, it's from where we were. I mean, our recruitment time frame used to be, time to hire used to be between 6 to 8 months to get someone to the whole process. And I'm sure some of the listeners will say that's a very long time. It's but during that process, you will have the application stage, you have the reference. The biggest bit is the vetting. So the vetting is critical, and then time and accessibility all the way through. So all of that has been reduced down to 2 to 3 months, and that's from the actual advert all the way up to sort of someone sitting in a chair, making a difference in the team. So that's helped with the overall cost to recruit, higher caliber of applicants as well. So we've seen great talent that we probably wouldn't have access to, and also help represent the force as that we embrace technology and we're using technology. Reduction in time to interview, minimising admin duty. That was a major thing, because administration time used to take the recruitment team to kind of process. Used to take most of the time, to be honest, and that's all reduced. It allows them to do other work, and better consistency. Our candidate experience was probably the main aspect. Candidate experience was probably missed in my view before, and the candidate experience, the brands, had to be promoted. It had to be
Yeah.
changed, and it's all about candidate. It's a candidate market at the end of the day. So we had to keep those candidates engaged and interested, and we had to focus on the candidate experience.
Sure. We talked about in past conversations that the kind of change management activities and challenges that you had. You brought the team on a journey. Could you just maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
The recruitment team.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, as I said, when I first joined the recruitment team, it was treated that this goes back generally within public sector, because public sector, in my view, don't look at recruitment as expertise. Recruitment is an expert field. It does require a skill set to be able to deliver results. And in my recruitment team, we have staff who've been in the organisation for a very long time. They've embedded into the organisation, and recruitment was treated as administration, both
Transactional
function.
Yeah.
So they used to kind of just say, well, okay, we'll do A, B, and C, and we'll just kind of focus on that. But the recruitment aspect of selling and being sort of marketeers, as I say, and being recruiters, we're all marketeers in recruitment, and to be recruited, to be trained, to be able to effectively promote the organisation, take them through the recruitment process, and have a customer service focus at the end of it, they had to be upskilled. So I upskilled them from literally teaching them how to do a brand new job. And I've kept the existing staff. So, and that normally into a transition, that's very difficult, but I've kept the staff, I've upskilled them, and they're more employable, and they've been upskilled to, and a lot of the staff have also been sort of been progressed and promoted to other roles.
Oh, good. So, let's talk through the kind of your direct sourcing kind of 80-20 model.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the challenges there and results.
Okay. Yeah, no, so the 80-20 model is just, as it says, organisations, direct sourcing, I've had the question of what is direct sourcing? Are we going to a supplier, are we doing something else like that? But it's not, it is exactly what it says. It's, organisations, there's a huge trend in organisation recruiting in-house by their own staff internally, just purely to reduce costs and manage the resources you already have,
driven by the budget cuts and the need to save money.
Yeah, well, that is always a drive. We need to be delivering more with less.
Yeah.
And if anything, to do with all the budget cuts at the moment, it's probably going to get worse. It's going to get worse, if anything. So we need to be working a lot smarter. We need to deliver more with less. So the direct sourcing model was just based on in-house recruitment teams made of, I would say, not ex-recruitment agencies. Ideally, organisations do kind of end up recruiting for ex-recruitment agency staff because you don't need training, you don't need to spend that time, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Which I didn't, which I had to train. That was a little bit harder than anything else. You're looking at 80% of our roles, of the normal business as usual everyday roles, we would recruit in-house. And our outsourcing, for example, using recruitment agencies or something like that, we would be looking at about 20%. So those are niche roles. You're looking at the 80k roles and above, more senior management sort of roles. But to be able to do that, we had to implement technology.
Yeah.
So the technology that recruitment agencies and the savvy and the savvy knowledge and everything else that they have, we had to implement that within the recruitment team. So using job boards, using obviously WCN, and using ATS systems, using social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of those social media platforms, and using all those tools to become marketers. And we had to promote and train the team to be able to be marketeers, to sell and promote the roles and opportunity we have within Warwickshire, West Mercia.
Excellent. So in terms of kind of satisfaction, that was a key driver from both obviously users, candidates, and also overall from the business. What about your managers? How have you brought them along the journey? It's kind of the extension of my earlier question.
Yeah. So the line managers and
Yeah.
how they've come to the biggest challenge, I would say, Mark, is the culture. The culture is the biggest change. Adapting any technology into an organisation who have been doing this for a very long time in any public sector, to reskill managers, staff, it's a challenge on its own.
Yeah.
You know, there's the option of looking at it as that's more work for me. It's less work for HR, it's less work for recruitment. So why am I doing recruitment as well? So it's all kind of changing that perception and making awareness and selling benefits of it. You know, the ATS system isn't a negative; it's a positive because it gave access to line managers from both internal and external.
Yeah.
It didn't chain them to the desk. It didn't chain them to the actual location they're working. They can log in from anywhere they wanted to, from home, from work, whichever. But the candidate satisfaction, I mean, originally it was poor. You know, it was poor originally before the ATS system. And the ATS system being implemented, we've done a candidate survey, we've done a line manager survey as well. We took the feedback from both. We made amendments, and you know the candidate satisfaction was has been at about 90%, or you know sort of excellent, very good, or fairly good sort of level. So.
Yeah. So just going back to the kind of the hiring manager recruiters, again we were talking about this earlier, and there were kind of particular challenges that you were facing in order to drive the change management agenda and you know change culture. One of which was fear around their roles and stuff. Maybe if we can kind of touch on that again for the audience, because I thought that was very interesting in managing that expectation and actually what the outcomes were in terms of
line managers.
Yeah.
You know, the fear factor for line managers was that this is going to increase the workload for them, and to be able to then use the technology quickly and efficiently to be able to do their recruitment was one of the challenges for the managers. So the managers needed to be changed. They had to think outside the box. We created loads of workshops as well. So we've done loads of online training. We've done workshops as well, and we've done face-to-face as well. So that was continuing to give them that support as well. And that's customer service coming from the recruitment team, from my team, to be able to then supply that support, guidance, and knowledge to line managers to be able to then be sort of supporters in the recruitment.
And what was their reaction to the whole process? Did they run with it? Was there resistance?
There was resistance. Yeah, there was. Some took it on board like straight away, and they were like, "Fantastic! I've been waiting for this for so long. I'm glad it's here. Let me get access and start using this now." Some managers did have reluctancy in using technology because they probably haven't used these sort of technologies before, and with any new technology, it's daunting, you know. But with the right support and guidance and time, they have come around, and we've got great supporters, and it's been adopted. So the ATS system, we use it throughout the organisation, and we are paperless. So it's definitely been adopted, and they see the benefits now.
Excellent. I kind of brought you to the hiring managers, and I know we talked a little bit about the candidates as well. You know, when I talk to police forces, there's a lot of the same things are coming back to me that you're talking about. That it's a candidate-driven market. It's things need to change, and because of austerity, because of the budget cuts, there's a lot more work going on, but with a lot fewer people. How have you kind of adapted to that and used the technology to help you?
Yeah, the recruitment, I mean, we're going through a transformation at the moment, so we're going through a whole IT transformation, and we're doing various recruitments at the moment, so recruitment is always continuous with us. We always have opportunities, careers all throughout, from specialist police officers, IT, finance, procurement, legal, doctors, everything. So we're always recruiting. So the technology, the ATS system has definitely helped to free up the recruitment team to be able to take on additional roles. And we've adopted other technology to help reduce the administration costs and be more effective. So it allows the system to do more for us instead of us kind of focusing on doing the administration focus, the administration process. So the system has taken on and embracing technology. That's been one of the biggest. And I think, to be honest, once the ATS system was adopted and was implemented, technology now is sort of embracing further. I mean, it's allowed more technology to be embraced, so using the tools from the recruitment industry to be able to then, and private sector, using those technologies, bring it in-house, and be able to deliver, all the vacancies in-house and deliver that customer service. It's not just about, say, well, use it as an administration focus and recruitment don't have to deliver a service. Of course we do. We deliver service every day. But to deliver where originally a lot of our vacancies used to go to recruitment agencies, and most of it used to go to recruitment agencies, you're probably looking at about 68% used to go to probably recruitment agencies probably 2 years ago. Currently, 97% of all vacancies are sourced in-house. The other 3% is more senior roles, more niche roles that we wouldn't, and that goes back to the 80-20 model, that we don't have the full skill sets, or we don't have the talent banks or anything like that. So, but we're sourcing all the candidates ourselves. And it's allowed us with the ATS system to have a talent bank, which is giving us a brilliant competitive edge, because we're attracting all these candidates. But we're putting them on the ATS system. We'll be able to contact them in the same process and encourage them and use that data in different ways to be able to then attract candidates to policing.
Okay. So kind of just to kind of round that up, is that the system itself is providing a kind of a central hub around which you're able to build your renewed recruitment process that's helping your hiring managers to free up time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's for line managers and the whole organisation. I mean, it even goes down to, I mean, when I talked about the reporting, for example, that reporting is sort of, it's current and it's easily accessible. So it's helping HR business partners, HR in general, senior managers to have the data, real life data instantly. So it's helping the whole organisation. I wouldn't just sort of say it's line managers. It's allowing line managers to definitely recruit quickly, effectively, and be able to get through the recruitment process quicker. But the data which sits behind it to be able to make strategic decisions and the actual data which we can then circulate instantly about recruitment and the reporting function, it's felt throughout the whole organisation. So if you're looking at, for example, we're going through the IT transformation at the moment. So you've got the data from the recruitment or the pool of candidates that we already have, the skill sets we have in talent pool, that data instantly pulled off. I mean, it also goes back to the diversity aspect as well. That data is definitely critical, and that definitely helps us to identify our key areas of focus in recruitment, and where do we need to attract, and what diversity we do have and where we don't. Because without that data, we're kind of blind. We're trying to run around, and we would be going to paper. That will take weeks. So the ATS system has helped us to instantly. We could do it in minutes instead, which would have taken us weeks.
So, what do you think? If we consider these improvements, in any detail, has led you to become, a multi-award nominee, and how has the ATS helped you move towards that that direct sourcing? Well, we kind of touched that, haven't we? How it helped you move towards that direct sourcing model.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned again in earlier conversations that talent pools is something that's very important to you, and that's obviously going to support your direct sourcing model. What kind of activities are you carrying out in order to fill your talent pool?
All right, yeah. So the activities we're doing is we go to, we're actually doing the proactive approach. So we are going into the communities, we're going into universities, colleges, we're going to job fairs, open days, we're using social media, we're to promote and attract individuals. And you know, when I said about the whole careers that policing have, it's changing that perception within the policing to say there is more to policing.
Yeah.
And that's probably what I'm saying. What we're looking for is fans of policing. So the recruitment team, and when we have like special officers who go into the community to promote and everything else, they will go into that community and promote all the opportunities we have. And we're also creating videos, we're also creating marketing materials about real life case studies on people, real people in the police force that we're kind of promoting in the public.
Excellent. So what do you think then for you, what's the next step for you?
Oh, the next step, I mean, what we're looking at is embracing new technology, definitely. Like, you know, sort of using, there was one virtual, actually.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're looking at is the virtual products, I guess, you know, showing probably real examples of or scenarios that you can just see from virtual, so you can kind of, I know that it's been tested by probably, I think, another public sector, but it is something that we need to be doing. It's a real job profile to individuals, so when we're trying to go into the marketplace, we want to be promoting the job and all the opportunities we have, and to showcase that, there's a lot of opportunities. How do you showcase every single role that we have within a short period of a 10-minute conversation to people? I mean, the marketing is brilliant, but to allow people in their own homes, I mean, it's a candidate market nowadays, and they want everything on sort of on tap, really, and they just want to say, I want to be able to then view what a scenario within policing might be, or being a police officer, or working, you know, as a special or something. And using those sort of technologies is definitely where we need to definitely be going towards. But we need to be changing the perception of policing in general, because no one actually, the public do not know there's 42 forces, and why should anyone come and join the police force? And does it fit right for them? You know, the brand, the USP, the unique selling point, all of that has to be right. We need to adapt that. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. I'm working with key partners to be able to then promote it in everything what we do.
Yeah. And in the technology itself, is that going to help you in the candidate engagement, in directing that information to the candidates at a point of consumption?
Yeah, I mean, that information at the moment, as I said, you know, we got the talent banks on the ATS system, and we can send mail shots, we can send messages to every single candidate instantly. We can allow them to register on job alerts, for example, so they don't miss any jobs that we have. So, which is brilliant. So they can, part of the talent bank could fill in short form, attach the CV, and then they're in the database, and we can then they get notified of every single role that they would like to know about. So that's helping constantly. That's continuous marketing, going out there to every single person on the talent bank, and they can adapt it, and that's definitely helping. So that's one. I mean, the more we fill into that talent bank on all areas of the business, I mean, pulling up the reporting from the ATS system, that will show me where the gaps are in the talent bank. So if I have huge in IT, for example, but I don't have none in the legal team, for example, I can focus on that. I can say, well, our talent bank, all diversity. I mean, the diversity aspect is brilliant, because that's definitely giving you a talent pool of, say, police officers that we're trying to, or would be recruiting for, is that do we have the right pool of candidates or interest? Because the biggest thing is going to the public. The hardest part of recruitment is, in attraction, is getting the names and numbers of individuals who are interested in having a career within policing. That's why we go to job fairs, that's why we go to open days, that's why we advertise on job boards and everything else. And once you get those contact details, what do you do with it? And that's where the talent bank actually comes really helpful, because that's where they go, and we keep them warm. We're sending them information they want to know about the alliance and the opportunities we have, and they're not missing anything, because they can, and then we're engaging with them as well via social media as well. So they're always fully informed, and as I said, it's a candidate market, and they want to pick and choose what they want to do and where they want to apply, and join an organisation that fits their fit and their personal perceptions.
Yeah. So on the diversity point, so what do you feel are the biggest challenges, the biggest barriers?
Yeah, I mean, diversity is important throughout policing. I mean, you've obviously seen on the news and various forces of recruiting at the moment, and the diversity is critical. Within I'm BME myself, so having choosing policing as a career is tough on its own. You're trying to change perception, generation change from my parents and probably current generations in saying, well, change the perception of what their view in policing, to then say, well, I want to go and join the police, I want to become a police officer, I want to join and invest 40 years of my life in a police force. So the attraction, going to the community is definitely one of the challenges, because working with the community we protect and serve is a difficult challenge, because we need to be informing them exactly what opportunities we have. We need to let them know that and build confidence in the police forces, and we need to be open and transparent with them, because they and that's a long journey, and we need to be kind of promoting every single opportunity we have, because within the BME community there's a huge array of people who are not aware that we have these careers. So it's kind of giving them all information, let them select themselves or deselect themselves at the process, and then make a choice, fully informed choice, that's policing for me, and that is a difficult challenge, because before I joined the police, I didn't know, and I made the call, and I made selected myself in, and 2 years later I'm still here, and I'm still pushing forward.
Yeah. So it's about communicating the culture within the business, because it's not just about actually getting them through the door, is it? It's it's not. Keeping them.
Yeah, it's retention as well, isn't it? So, but keeping the staff once they come in, but we need to be promoting exactly a real job profile is what we need to be doing. We need to say exactly what it is. Being a police officer isn't, sort of walking around, being a firearms officer with a gun in your hand and that sort of stuff, or just drive around in fast cars, down up and down the road. That is not. There's more to policing, and I think recent news has actually told us that. There's so much more. And we protect them so the public, and we're looking for people with the right passion, the right view of making a difference and protecting and serving the public, and those are the people. I'm looking, when we're recruiting, I'm looking for fans of policing, and who's going to help to change the perception of policing, and whilst we're trying to protect and serve the public.
Yeah. So thank you both. That's really interesting discussion. So many different points touched upon there in terms of hiring manager engagement, methods of sourcing, really getting to know the candidates and bringing them into being police officers. And I think that will apply across sectors. Our question function is open. If you would like to ask any questions, do just type them into the box on your go-to platform. The lines are muted, so that is the easiest way to send us some questions. I'll just kick off with one that has come in. And it's in light of recent news where police numbers have been under the spotlight after national incidents. What do you find really works in terms of engaging candidates and making them want to see the process through in the 2 to 3 months that you've achieved?
So the candidates, keeping them committed to like the whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what we do what we do here is we keep the candidates warm by making sure they have, as soon as they express their interest, we keep the candidates warm all the way through. So we will straight away thank them for showing interest. The system does that, so the ATS system does do that. And we will also instantly make contact and we will engage with them. So it's not just about the ATS system being not having human contact. We will have that human contact with the candidates as well, and it's both ways. You know, it's using both personal and human contact with the ATS machine contact all the way through, and giving them the candidates all the information they need to be able to still be confident to say this is still the right option for me. Because as I said about the police officers and diversity, for example, constantly all the way through they might have questions, they might have concerns, something from their family or something, whichever, and it's giving that support, it's giving that information for them to then still feel confident all the way through. So this is a life-changing decision, and they need to make the right decision. And it helps us to make sure we have the right quality of candidates coming through, and also we want to be fair to the candidates and make sure that they are making the right choice. You know, if it isn't right for them, we'll say it. You know, at least it's their choice, and they've got the right information.
Yeah, excellent. We've got another question in that says, I'd be interested to know what Warwickshire and West Mercia Police have done in terms of positive action initiatives, and has this resulted in increased BME applications?
Yeah, I mean, police officer recruitment, we haven't done police officer recruitment currently, but we have been recruiting for police staff every day, every single week, every single month of the year. You know, it's the biggest recruitment drive we do. But every force does that. Police staff we recruit every single time, and police officer we recruit every year, probably a small, about a year or every other year. So in the positive action phase, we've been working with places of worship. So we work with gurdwaras, mandirs, mosques. We have local representation. So we've got special recruiters, so special officers. They go into the community. So they've been doing that. So they go to colleges, universities, areas of high diverse population, and they'll build relationships. I mean, we have officers who are community officers who will build local relationships with them, and encourage individuals and make more of awareness to say these are the opportunities we have. We have been seeing an increase in definitely police staff. Police staff over the years, we've seen more female, we've seen more BMEs come through. And we're in a good platform. We've built some really good contacts and relationships with community members, and we're looking for more. We're looking at working with the community further. So anyone who's willing to sort of help, we're willing to sort of work with them. And we also advertise on various diversity job boards as well. And we use social media quite a lot. So social media within those communities, and using partners from those communities to help us promote it.
That's quite interesting, quite important as well, actually, to target your communication to the groups that you want to attract. Filling your pipeline, filling your talent pool, that ultimately will kind of improve the throughput, and then the greater the pipeline coming through, obviously we tend to hope that they stick within the process. And
and it's targeting each one of those the communities we have, but using the contact that we have within the community. It's pointless going to say a Gurdwara and doing the presentation without the local support. And we need to understand and communicate on the same level. We need to understand the culture. We need to understand being a BME. I need to still understand. I still need to go and understand different cultures, and I still need to communicate. But it's using those contacts in the communities to help us deliver a message.
Excellent. And another question in is, what niche boards do you use in Warwickshire and West Mercia?
Yeah, no, the job boards, when I said about the recruitment agencies and what they use and everything else, the recruitment agencies will advertise on job boards, they'll have their own talent banks and everything else, but they will have it it will be built up from years. So that talent bank might be a lot more than what we do, but eventually our talent bank on ATS system will be, in a couple of years, will be strong. So we should be able to go dip into that first before we start advertising, because our talent bank is already there and it's building. But you're looking at about 3 years to do that. It takes about 3 years to build a good, sustainable talent bank to be able to then see the difference that most of your candidates are coming from the talent bank instead of job boards. And to answer the questions about niche job boards, is the job boards we use, we've got CV Library Talk jobs, security cleared jobs, we've got obviously Glassdoor, we also advertise on College of Policing website as well, and LinkedIn as well, and social media. And we also do advertise on various diversity job boards as well.
And related to a point you just brought up, we've got a question of how you actually source candidates for your talent bank.
Yeah, no, so it's the attraction work both in the public, so where we proactively go into the community, where we're promoting the opportunities and everything else. It's advising those individuals to say we're capturing those details, so we're going to the events, we're capturing all those contact details of the individuals. We're also doing from any marketing that when they're kind of sent to the web page, they can register their details to express your interest, and they register their details, and that goes into the talent bank. And it's conversation, it's marketing, it's presentation, it's any contact we have. We refer people, we put them onto our talent bank. We also do have a temporary staff register as well, which is for short-term period. So we refer them to that. It's understanding and advising everyone of all the opportunities. You're not being blinkered and say, well, we've only got police officer roles and that's the only thing that we have, because that I work within policing as a police officer, and that's all I'm going to talk to you about. It's talking about the wider picture, talking about all the careers we have, and then filtering and pushing them towards the website and registering the details.
And building multiple talent pools.
Oh yeah,
really
definitely. Different expertise, so legal, finance, IT, police officer, specials. You need a talent bank for every single one of them, and along with that you need to then focus on diversity. That will give you your talent bank, once you view it or details, will tell you where your gaps are. And that's where your activity in the public should be, because then you say as well, if you need to focus in the Muslim community, you go into the Muslim community or Chinese community or Polish community or whichever. That's where the strategic aspects comes. Data has to feed into a strategic decision and planning. Otherwise it doesn't work.
So related to that, we've got a question asking if salary has been an issue in attracting the right candidates historically.
Yeah, well, it's public sector, isn't it? I mean, public sector in general, we don't pay the best salary compared to private sector. So salary, I don't, there's 6,000 members of staff in Warwickshire, West Mercia, and public sector in general, the salary is not competitive compared to private sector. But it is about the work that you do, and it's about making a difference to people's lives and joining. And you've got to have a passion about this. You can have one choice of going to an organisation that you can go to the organisation and do the same job you've probably done a million times before, and you go in Monday to Friday and that's what you do. Or you can go and work for a police force where
you're
making a difference. And it's the same instant going to NHS. NHS people, doctors, or being carers. Having carers, they don't get paid a lot of money, but they still do that job and they're still passionate about that job. Same as NHS, and that's exactly the same for policing. As I said, there's 6,000 fans of policing in Warwickshire, West Mercia.
Do spikes in media coverage of public sector pay scales affect your application numbers, do you find?
Yeah, it will do. There are candidates who will say, will deselect themselves out purely on salary. because financially it does not suit them at that specific time to join, to become a police officer, special, or PCSO, or IT, for example. They will just let themselves out, but in a sense, that's where the whole purpose of the role, the difference, and the unique selling point of the organisation, that's what we base it on. We're not saying it fits everyone. It does not fit everyone, and it probably won't do, but if it's right for you, and this is the organisation fits your needs and requirements, and you want to come and make a difference, then policing is the place. That's all we say. We're not trying to showcase it as this is everything's perfect, but we are public sector, because the IR35, for example, has affected all public sectors, and that's another hurdle we have to come across. Not just trying to attract, but we have to retain the staff we already have who have been affected by IR35. So there's always challenges, but there's been more positive in the sense of people once they know it's an option and they know what we have to offer, they put that on the table. They're more favourable to consider it as a career option.
Great. Another question coming in asking if you could please tell us the size of your recruitment function versus the size of your force, and if WCN has helped you to save on staffing costs.
As with the staff already have, I've got to say how hard this is. The staff already have. So the staff, all in all, there's in my recruitment team, there's about between 18 and 20. In the whole recruitment from volunteers as well, there's about 24. 24. That includes the volunteers recruitment team, and my recruitment team is obviously covers police staff, which is head office roles, police officer roles, and then got volunteering, which focuses on specials and cadets and everything else. But the same team who was here, I've not decreased or increased them in any shape or form. What I have done is basically upskill those individuals to be more productive, deliver more with less, and upskill those individuals. So I could have, as I said, easily gone and recruited ex-recruiters to come in, do this job, and it would pay them a little bit more, and it would have been fine, whichever. But that wasn't the objective. The objective is pointless not investing in your staff. I'm a big believer in investing in your staff, in the people that you have working for you. Public sector, in the sense of training, development of your staff, compared to private sector, the investment is probably a little bit more in private sector than public sector. And that's why I did not want to get rid of any or reduce the recruitment team, because I wanted to upskill them, to invest in the staff I already have, because they're already fans of policing. They're committed. They've been here for about 10, 15 years. It's just that they need that opportunity, that support and training to be able to then do this role more effectively. And that's been done, and that's been achieved, and we're delivering. And as I said, we've saved, from 3 million down to 1 million at the moment. And we're working on key niche roles, that 20%. We're recruiting for that in-house at the moment. That would never ever been even thought of before, because we just the first option would be outsource it, give it to a recruitment company to do, not even attempt to do it ourselves. But we have that skill set in the house, we have the tools, and we have the ability to do this.
So that tees nicely into a question here asking if you have you're directly sourcing all types of roles, whether they be admin or more specialist roles in the force.
No, the roles we kind of source is, but we don't have the huge all the specialist job boards. We don't have the full tools that recruitment agencies have. But business as usual, compared to the roles that we have within policing, are the bread and butter sort of business as usual sort of roles, which are the administration, HR sort of finance, those sort of junior administration roles all the way up. Business partners, project managers, all those sort of key roles. We've got those job boards which allow us to proactively search for candidates. So the recruitment agency will search the market. So when you put your CV on job boards, they'll log in, they'll do a search, and they'll find you. We do that, and we do that for all of our vacancies, and we will attract those individuals. So what we do is get the vacancy, we go into the marketplace proactively, we'll contact individuals like project manager if we have a vacancy of that, and we will make them aware of our vacancy. So we'll put the vacancy underneath their nose and say, look, we've got an opportunity which you might be of interest. Exactly what a recruitment agency does, but we do that, you know, and the percentage of us finding the right candidates compared to recruitment agencies. I mean, there's been instances where there's been definitely candidates we've already got on our talent bank, which recruitment agencies will find, and so actually we've already got them already applied, and that's when you see the difference. That's where the sort of, you know, the scales are tipping, because then, and it's been 2 years in the making. So now we're looking at CVs that recruitment agencies submit. So actually we've already got that, and that's where the tilt is. It's actually we're searching the right places, we're finding the right people, and we're selling the role and the organisation that we have to the right people who are passionate about joining the place.
So do you have preferences now or selection methods that you prefer to typically be using?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, so we've got the selection methods we've used, but we do use psychometric testing, we use situation judgment tests as well for policing as well. That's obviously helped, and it gives a realistic job profile, to be honest, of situation judgment tests for individuals, and make sure that the candidates are the right fit for the actual role in policing, which has definitely helped. So, and along with that, we do also, I forgot to mention, is that we do various workshops as well. So we do awareness sessions and to make candidates aware when they're going through the process of what they're going to be getting themselves into. Like the fitness test, for example. You do the fitness test, and you've got to prep for that. I know I do. So I'm trying to do the fitness test. I need to be prepping 6 months in advance, because I need to be doing that. So there's all of that prep work that we need to do, and we do use situation judgment tests. That's really good.
I just want to take you back to the question, actually, because I found it very interesting, and that was, you know, has the system helped you reduce staff? I think the temptation and often and quite often the need is to reduce staff. That's the idea. The system takes the heavy lifting, frees up time, but actually that time can then be used by reducing staff. Your approach was not to reduce staff, it was to use that time to upskill them, to broaden their scope,
and do more.
So you're more effective, or they're more effective in their role, and you're still able to reduce costs, so, you know, 2/3.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because the reason why I've done that, because one of the biggest mistakes you probably make is being very short-sighted in what we're trying to do. Because you can easily put an ATS system in and say, let's get rid of half the recruitment team that you have. Business objectives change a week, 2 weeks, months later, and then you realise actually we need to do loads of attraction, we need to do work and providing, we need to focus on the candidate experience, the customer service, whole new transformations coming in the organisation, and you haven't got the staff. But then to go out and recruit again, planning ahead with all the data that we have and link it in with the key decisions that the alliance is making, allows me to then plan ahead in what we need to do. So in sourcing, knowing that we're going to the transformation director role, transformation roles, we had to then upskill the staff to be able to then take on more work. So they were able to do a lot more proactive work instead of just being reactive. And that's what we did. And of course I could have. It does help you. That's the whole point.
And I guess there's also a place for both, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. But you've got to. It depends on the organisation. So you've got to have a look at it. I'm not. You know, what we've done here is because it's right for Warwickshire, West Mercia. I'm not. You know, obviously you can have a system, and then yes, you can. It's definitely going to reduce heads. That's the first thing I would probably do, and that's what it does. But if it's right for you and you're planning ahead and you're trying to use that skill set, if you want to upskill them and you want to make them do a more proactive role, then brilliant. Because once again, it's about we're the public sector, so we need to be investing in staff, but planning ahead is critical if we didn't do that.
Okay. So I'm kind of conscious we've got 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
We want to do a bit of a round-up. So maybe if I ask a last question, and that is really, Kesh, what would you recommend to our listeners as the key to earning recognition from peers and transforming operations in an awards-winning caliber way?
Yeah, well, I'm winning the award for the Recruiter Award, I guess. One of the biggest obstacles, I guess, was making sure. I mean, one of the things you just need to make sure is just you understand the organisation needs and what you're trying to do. If you think this ATS system is going to resolve all your problems, think again. It's not. It's not going to resolve all your. It's not a sort of magic wand. It's not a magic wand. It's not going to come in and sort all your problems out. The ATS system will give you the foundation to build on. But you've got to use it according to your organisation. You need to adapt your processes. You need to be educating the organisation and change the way you work.
Yeah.
And public sector is very demanding. If you're trying to change anything, it's very long-winded. And I've got a lot of white hair since joining. So
you and me both.
so doing that is just making sure that you understand what you want the system to do, and then looking at your process that sits around it, and then building on it. And then making sure it's in line with all your strategies, your recruitment strategy, your people strategies. All your strategy has to sit in line. If it doesn't, and you're not looking at criticising what you do and how you do it, it won't work. And at the same time, any ATS system that you have, you need to be working with the ATS system. You bought the system off them, you've used it for a purpose, you need to work with them to allow that system to deliver the best results you want it to have. Because the ATS organisation, like yourselves, obviously help in configuring and setting it all up. So work with them. Work with them. Be honest. And don't be afraid of changing and accepting technology.
And because we talked about this a little bit earlier on, didn't we? We touched on this specifically, and I think we're both in agreement. We, as a provider, we don't necessarily know the best bits of your process, and as a customer, you don't necessarily know the best bits of what technology can achieve. So sitting down beforehand and working that through. So having a space within the budget and within the process to have that consultancy period to inform and understand both sides, so you can actually build an outcome that sets you up for success and implementation.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you definitely need that consultancy, and you need to have that sort of configuration ability as well, I think, because at the point of also, when you're trying to buy the system, or you're trying to design or understand what you're trying to buy, you need to get the experts involved to understand, who's doing what and why, and because you need to be working with the organizer, with the ATS company like yourselves, making sure that you're getting the right information, because you're going on the basis of what we're telling you. If I didn't tell you the right information and I said, but I didn't understand the bigger picture, what we're trying to do and how we're trying to use this, it's not going to deliver what you want. And then being surprised 12 months later to say, well, actually, it's not delivered what we want to do, because we can't do this, or we can't do this, or we can't do that. It's because we didn't have the expertise, or we didn't have the right people involved as an organisation from the bottom way up. The key decision making people who are going to be using the system, people...
strategic overview.
Strategic overview. So you need to get them all involved, but you need to understand, get all your information before you go to the ATS system. Because if you go half information, it just you'll get half the result at the end. So put the prep work in, and then you'll get the result. So
thank you, Kesh.
Great, thank you, Kesh. Thank you, Mark. That was a really enlightening session. Apologies if we didn't get around to all of your questions. We do have a log of who the askers are and we'll share those with Kesh so he can come back to you in due course. Feedback is obviously a gift, so we'd love to hear your thoughts on this webinar. Please do send your comments through to us at marketing@wcn.co.uk or use the email that will come from GoToWebinar to reply to that. And just to finally point out, our next event is a public services breakfast seminar incorporating public sector and police forces. It's on Friday, 6th October 2017 in London, and the details are very early at this stage. If you would like to RSVP and reserve a spot, please do email seminars@wcn.co.uk. Mark's contact details are also there. You can email him if you have any questions about our work with police, public, or just any general questions. For now, thank you very much for your time today, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon. Bye-bye.